Hello, it's Marianne's again, sharing with you some of the amazing encounters with God I've had during my life. So let's continue on with what I said in the last episode. Even in small, kind of inconsequential things, He provided for us. There was a time after we were allowed to come back, and it was during the war, and some people from one of the churches were sewing some clothes, some big clothes, and they were making them smaller because there were people from Vietnam, from the Hmongs tribes people, and they had left Vietnam and they had come to live just across the river in Cambodia. And so one of the churches was saying, well, they will need clothes, and we can take these used clothes and make them smaller and give them to them. And so they were doing this in my house. And I didn't mind them using my sewing machine. I gladly let them use my sewing machine. But I did not so gladly let them use all my thread, because I did a lot of sewing at that time for my little kids. And I had brought thread, nice thread from Canada, nice strong thread that would not tear and would not lose its color when it was washed. And I saw them gladly, not so gladly, let them use my thread. And then but all the time I was thinking, well, there goes my good thread. Now when I want to sew for my kids, I'm going to have to use this local thread, and it's not very good, it's not very strong, and when you wash, sometimes it loses its color. But it was just a thought that went through my mind. Well, then Christmas came, and I'd been teaching an English class at one of the churches, and one of my students gave me a box. It's a nice square box, wrapped up in beautiful paper. So I brought it home and I put it under the Christmas tree to open it on Christmas Day, when we would open our gifts to each other. When I opened it, I could not believe it. You know what was in there? Thread. Many, many, many spools of thread in every color, all kinds of colors of thread. 2 layers. Nice, good thread from France. Come on, who gives a Christmas present thread? I was a student thinking, what will I give my teacher for Christmas? I think I'll give her a box of thread. A very unusual gift. As soon as I saw it, I thought, oh. I remember saying, there goes my good thread. And the Lord, even in such a little thing that's not important. Well, fast forward many years, fast forward all the way to 1975. Cambodia had lost the war to the Khmer Rouge. And we were on our way home, again, with nothing, just our suitcases and 4 children. And we were going home, and I remember saying to my husband, as we faced the fact that we had nothing, just our suitcases and our kids and not much money. And I remember saying to my husband, Norman, I can see people giving us, some furniture they don't need, or some things that they can share with us. But who's going to give us some really pretty things, like a pretty lamp, for instance? And of course, he had no answer for that question. I don't know, we'll see. So we on our way home, we stopped at the Canadian Friends, a pastor and his wife, and they had a friend who was really talented. She made beautiful things. And so she came over one day and she gave me a gift. And do you know what it was? It was a beautiful lamp. And again, I thought, that's exactly what I said. Who's going to give us something like a lamp? We weren't even home yet. We were just on our way. And it was such a promise from the Lord that he would give us everything that we needed. And we found out that was true. As we came to Saskatoon and lived in our rented house, indeed we did get the things we needed. Tables, chairs, furniture, everything. Somebody said, I have some dishes that I'd like to give you. They're in the trailer. But then later she said, oh, I looked at those dishes and they're not in very good shape. I'll just give you some money and you can go buy some. So she gave us some money, and my daughter and I went and bought a beautiful set of dishes. They're really pretty. Shelley's favorite color at that time was purple. And so these dishes had a ring of little purple flowers and then a gold ring. They're very pretty. I still have some right to this day. And so we bought the dishes, and as we were going out of the store, we passed the beautiful, expensive bone china. And that was 1975, and in that era, people really wanted good bone china. They wanted a set of the really expensive bone china. And we passed it, and I said to Shelley, wouldn't it be nice to just have a tea set in that little, just a little tea set with a teapot and and the cups and saucers. I was not saying I want to buy it. For one thing, they were too expensive. I was not asking or thinking I should want them. But we went home, and probably next day or two, some friends came over, and we were happy to see them. They were on their way back home to Calgary, and she said, "I have a present for you." When I opened that beautifully wrapped up box, you know already, don't you, what was in there? There was the bone china tea set. A teapot, 6 cups and saucers, little plates, cream and sugar containers. Unbelievable. I hadn't even dared want it. I just said, wouldn't it be nice? So we learned as time goes by that the Lord would provide everything that we needed. So after losing our things over and over again, we understood to keep our things in an open hand and watch as the Lord fills with better things than with whatever we lost. You know, the Bible says, even strong young lions sometimes go hungry, but those who trust in the Lord will lack no good thing. And that has certainly been my experience over the years as I've had many wonderful encounters with God.